We're in the middle of the artisan workings here. These are the old ones. Evidently there were some 3,000 to 6,000 people working here when it was really busy and there was like a mini gold rush. So this whole area that you can see behind me is a myriad of pits and shafts, and pretty dangerous wandering around if you're not watching where you're going or you're walking around at night, because many of these things are vertical. They go down 20-30 meters, all dug by hand, and they're all covered in grass and bushes now, so you have to be quite careful. But it's quite amazing what the guys do. This is essentially their way of exploring, whereas we come round with a drill rig. These guys dig a hole, and I suppose this one is around 8 or 9 meters deep, but you can see the sheer size of it, and that's all dug by hammer and chisel. Some of these other ones, like this one, go down quite a bit further, so they'll dig so far, we think down to the first gold horizon, then they'll put an internal shaft and go down to the next gold horizon. Now we know at the moment that that zone occurs over around 3 to 5 meters, and the main zone with the highest grade material occurs over a zone that's about 2 meters wide, made up of 2, possibly 3 zones of high grade mineralization. Now here's a nice example, shaft just lurking behind a tree, covered in bushes, and yep, so they're all quite deep, and what we've been trying to do is to work out exactly what is at the bottom of these shafts. So our guys set up a rope and pulley system like this one over here and go down right to the bottom, depending on how it is, work out where the gold is at the bottom, and then take a sample. And on average we take between 80 and 100 kilos of sample. We then put it through our crushers and our concentrators, and we see what gold we recover. Now that's the basis for our calculations. Rather than sending a small amount of material away to the assay lab, that one's partially collapsed, and then calculating that up, we take a much larger sample, we recover the physical gold, and then that's the basis for our economic calculations. Now if it's worth leaching it with cyanide to get more gold out, then that's something we'll look at, but our main focus is on the recovery of free gold. And in this particular area the gold is 94 to 96% purity, which means even in its natural state we get a high value for the gold that we produce. And using the equipment that we've got, which is all gravity based recovery, we would look to recover somewhere in the region of 80 to 85%, given that the gold is really quite coarse here. And you can see through the trees there. We move on to adjacent property with one of our other partners, and he's been opening everything up. Another one of these shafts. After we've completed our sampling to get down to the high grade gold, and he is down 18-20 meters. He's got about another 4 meters to go, so that represents a significant financial investment on his part. And you can see what they've been doing. This has all happened in the last few months since we were in here working out where the best gold was, completing our sampling and doing the initial phase of mapping. So they don't waste much time, and as it stands, based on our current work, the resource extends 2/3 of the way to the top of that hill and continues to extend in an unlimited distance there to the west and up to the northwest. So potential for quite a significant gold deposit here. And if we look at the distribution of artisanal licenses through this zone, which we're calling the Songozi gold belt, it's at least 12 kilometers long, 2 to 3 kilometers wide, and we know of at least 3 or 4 other discrete hotspots like this where the artisans are going down shafts and getting out very, very high grade mineralisation. So we think there's a good opportunity to open up a whole new gold district with at least 1 or 2 major gold mines, and we're pretty much the first people in here, and we've developed the gold model and we've done the exploration and we've found the gold. So fingers crossed, over the next 6 to 8 months we'll finish the sampling. We'll have a processing plant which will allow us to do 30 to 50 tonnes per hour under construction over the next 6 to 8 months, and sometime early next year we'll start the main test pit and see what we